when you sell beats, you don't want to sell yourself short. Like the you spend hundreds on computer software, like maybe thousands on equipment, and then you turn around and you sell your beat for $50 to $25. Like it's not, you never gonna get back in the black with doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, I guess it would also be based on your skill too.
Welcome back to the Black Fridays podcast. I have another talented, dope individual on the podcast, somebody that I've known for quite some time and been really dope to see them grow their skills and their brand and their overall presence. Somebody who is nice with the pen, somebody who is nice in the studio producing.
I know,
And
right,
also, I had to test this out, but allegedly they good with video games also.
Come on now. I've been doing that longer than the other two.
So you heard it here first, but the voice and the face that you see is none other than Marcus, aka My Brother Dizz. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up? Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. I'm having a great time already.
Of course, man. I appreciate you pulling up. And before we get into it, I want to ask you first if you could let us know a little bit more about the person, the talent that is My Brother Dizz, and give us a rundown about yourself.
All right. Hey, well, government name Marcus Sellers, go by My Brother Dizz. Named after my producer tag. My Brother Dizz made this, from Detroit, Michigan. Grew up on 7 Mile and or near Greenfield, so like Coyle and Curtis near Peterson Park. Then I moved over to 7 Mile, Livernois. I've been doing music since, I say professionally, like taking it serious and actually promote, like trying to drop it to the world. I started that freshman year in college, but I've been making like beats and writing. I've been writing since middle school, and I've been making beats since I was 14, freshman year at Cass Tech. Yeah, it's just been a something that I've been passionate about. It's something that I do regularly. My major, well, I'm not gonna jump right into like big things yet, but yeah, I've been doing music since I was a wee lad, you know what I'm saying? So it's just been a journey. I've been doing it just because I love it, and things have just been opening up because of that. So
dope. I definitely was gonna ask you, when did you start taking it seriously? Because we go back to high school, and I remember you rapping in high school, but back then everybody thought they was gonna be a rapper, but it was very few people who like took it seriously. So like that, I was gonna ask, like, when did you like to be like, okay, I can actually make a career of this? But you said it was your freshman year in college, right?
Yeah, freshman year in college. I feel like if anything college brought me was just networking and just feeding me to the wolves, you know what I'm saying? So colleges, it's usually their own little ecosystem and demographic. They got specific people that like different groups that just exist on the college campus, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot easier to get your name out and be more than just, oh, that's Marcus. So I met up with a friend, another cast technician, Young Slaps, Tyrell Slappy. And ever since we linked during that time, we just started making music. He, found out I make beats, found out I write, found out he write. And that's how simple it gets, you know what I'm saying, when you that young. So we just started writing, and we used to record on our little MacBook Pro speaker or MacBook speakers. And then we, after it sounded terrible for so long, we was like, you know what, maybe we should invest in a mic. We're gonna take this serious. So we got a nice little USB mic that upped the quality a little bit. But yeah, college kind of just opened up that, I don't know, that doorway for me, because I can drop my music, release it, and have immediate feedback. And like amongst my friend circle, amongst like just peers in my freshman class, every Friday at State is a party. So you either go to the club, you can go to one of the big buildings on campus, but it's gonna be a party. And because Tyrell or Young Slaps was so connected with like party promoters, and he was also in fraternity, Iota Phi Theta. That kind of also opened up a doorway for us to just perform whenever we want, because people just be like, hey, I rock with them. I like their music. So here, you get 30 minutes real quick. They'll slow the party down and you're good. So that's kind of what we did. We just made music, performed at like every party, and people just started to know us. Even if you didn't like our music, you just know, oh, that's Slaps and Dizz. They about to perform today. It is what it is. This is what they do.
Right.
So that's kind of how that, started. And
right. And that's super dope origin story, because yeah, Slaps definitely know the whole city, and we know a ton of people in common. And I just met him probably within the last year, like actually had a conversation. So it's just you realize how small Detroit is, how small the world is when you start to get those connections. But like you said, start to open up doors for y'all, which is super dope, and be able to start to work and perfect y'all craft even in those earlier stages. And speaking of the music, and I want to introduce you to my favorite segment of Black Friday. So it's called Freestyle Fridays. Now, you may you may take this challenge. I offer it to others. Some people took me up on it. Some haven't. But the original Freestyle Fridays is simply just random assortment of questions. They're all about you. All you gotta do is answer everyone and answer honestly. But since you are my brother Dizz, if you wanted to, bless us with a freestyle or what have you, I don't have no money. I don't have no money to pay you. I can barely afford this interview, but if you want to bless us with a freestyle, we could get in that as well. Or you could just play the regular version of Freestyle Fridays. There's no pressure.
Let's do the regular version, only because I wasn't prepared for the freestyle.
Sure.
I can't be like first meeting. They're like, Dizz he okay, accolades and stuff. Let me hear what he got. Trash. I don't want that to be the first thing. My freestyle game is terrible. I did not have a verse off top.
But the pen nice. That's all that matters.
So nice.
The pen is nice. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we met in high school. I want to know, what's your fondest memory from high school?
Fondest memory from high school. Honestly, it was the stairs. Cass Tech is known for having some stairs, boy. I tell you.
So I know you big into video games. I think I remember one time when GTA 5 first came out, I remember seeing you in line at GameStop when that was a thing, when people still waiting in line for games. So I know you're a big gamer. What you playing right now?
Right now, I'm playing Final Fantasy, the remake. I mean, Final Fantasy 7 remake. Apparently Final Fantasy 7, the original one, came out on PlayStation 1. It's like this main staple of like, if you game, you gotta love this game. And me, I never played it. So I'm playing the remake for the first time. I'm like, okay, I'm sure it didn't play nothing like this, but this is a good time right here. And then what else I'm playing? I'm playing I just started this game called, I'm in the middle of playing this game called Returnal. It's very interesting. You kind of got to beat the game in one shot. Like it's a game that if you die, you start from the beginning every time, but you could keep certain upgrades and stuff like that. So it helps. Like in the event that you die, getting back to where you was is a lot easier because of whatever progression you made. But other than that, I'm usually playing 2K, Madden, the usual. Waiting for the new 2K to drop. A new Madden just dropped. So I'll be playing online, and I like to play on my Twitch. I got it set up so now when I'm playing with my boy, like on Madden, we be having some great conversation. We be real competitive, you know what I'm saying, talking mess or whatever. So the people can hear that when I'm streaming from my Twitch, and it's just always a good time. It's always a good time.
No doubt. You do it for real. I do it for play now because I barely I haven't turned my system on in months. So I'm ashamed to myself and the gaming community.
Hey man, people get busy, man.
This is true. If you could, I'm gonna hit you with a tough one. If you could only do one for the rest of your life and you couldn't do the other, would you rather write or would you rather make beats?
Honestly, I'd rather make beats. I'd rather get into the production because honestly, the production, both of them played a part in like any accolades I had. So, or any dope moments I had. So, like, I say the writing helped me network with artists. Those artists need beats. So then I'm also a producer. So then that's quick little bag right there. Good. It's a good it's just a good way to stand out. To have a person you like, okay, you spit and you make beats. Kind of got sidetracked. But the main thing is the beats. The beats, I've actually, it's something about the construction of making a beat, like the sitting there listening to 30 different snares or 100 different snares just for like maybe 3 seconds of song. Like it's just something. It can be strenuous. It can be like, yo, is he gonna move on to the next part of the beat? But I love it. I don't know why. It's satisfying. It's like I built this with my hands. Like I did all this by hands and ear. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like I said, my beats is kind of, I'm more well known with the beats now as far as like people that's not from here or people that don't know me personally, they know me from beats. I had so in 2019 I did a weekly series with King Crook. It's actually Crook's weekly series. Crooked Eye, aka King Crooked, used to be signed to Shady Records or Shady Aftermath with Slaughterhouse with Joe Bud and Royce Joel. I had the opportunity to do the weekly series. He used to do back in like 2009, I think. He would drop a song every week for a year, and he just took a classic hip hop beat and just rapped over it. This time around, he wanted to do the same thing, except he wanted to have it flip. And how I met with him was through beats. And I had a fellow friend, artist, Universal. Shout out to you. He's from the Bronx, and he's living here in Detroit. He actually put me on because I was doing a project for him. He asked me to send him 2 beats, 2 samples. One of them was like a Lauryn Hill sample of not Ula La, what's it called? Fuji La.
Yep.
And then another one was a sample for Tupac Hail Mary. So I did a flip of those 2 samples, made those beats, sent it to him. Apparently, the song was supposed to feature King Crooked Eye. So he sent him both beats, like, which one do you like? So he picked the one that he wanted to rap on with Universal, but then he was like, who made this other one? He's like, oh, it's my boy Dizz. My boy Dizz made it. You want me to pass your information along or his information on to you? He's like, yeah, let's do that. He hit me back like, yo, I'm supposed to do a song with Crooked Eye. He wants you to know, he wants to know if he can talk to you. Can I send him your number? I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's an opportunity right there. So he sent my number along, and he hit me up like 10 minutes later, called me like, yo, what's up, Diz? This is Crooked. How you doing? I'm like, no, I'm doing good. And he told me the idea that he had. Well, first he asked me for the original beat. For that other beat that Universal didn't get. So he took that and he dropped 92 G's, 96 G. And then he was like, how about this? I want to do bring back the weeklies. I want to flip classic records. The thing is, it's going to take a lot of work. I'm about to be knocking these out every week. Do you think you can handle the workload? Are you down to do it? I'm like, yes. And boom, from there was history. You know what I mean? And that's because of beats. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got to lean towards the beats.
Shout out to you because you successfully passed Freestyle Fridays. So thank you for
bar game was crazy.
And engaging bars was crazy. So if I could get back into asking more about your background and career overall, when would you? So you had told us earlier that music became a thing for you early on. So like you said, you were writing and wanted to make beats when you were probably like in middle school, before you got to high school. When you got to college, you really started to take it seriously, and you had a chance to work on some dope projects like you said with King Crooked and being able to produce for some other groups. I wanted to ask you as far as the business side goes, because I saw you had made a post a few days ago about ghost producing
Oh
So
man.
if you could break that down for us a little bit more, but really want to understand, like you said, your business wasn't as tight, your prices for beats and what you would do for your work was low. When did it click for you that you needed to rearrange those things? Because I know for a lot of creatives, that's the tough part. Like you can go in, you can do your craft all day long, but making sure that your business is tight when people come to you and they want to work with you or ask you, try to hire you for a project. How did you like tweak and make sure that those things were on point?
I'm gonna tell you, it's trial and error, honestly. And also confidence. A lot of times with setting prices for yourself, you got to be confident that that's what you're worth. I think a lot of times we, especially producers, that's like unknown or just coming up, just starting, they try to sell their beats based off of what they think people would pay for them rather than how you feel they should be priced. You kind of got to find a nice medium balance between that. Also, you kind of got to go when you sell beats. You don't want to sell yourself short. Like the you spend hundreds on computer software, like maybe thousands on equipment, and then you turn around and you sell your beat for $50 to $25. Like it's not, you never gonna get back in the black with doing that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Also, I guess it would also be based on your skill too. But really, I just learned all this kind of stuff, just trial and error. I think at some point I just decided to increase my prices to where I think it's a good medium between what I can provide, my sound compared to maybe cheaper producers, and also still try to provide a value. Like, this is a premium sound. I'm not gonna charge you thousands, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna charge you this amount. So, and I'm also work with budgets. People don't just walk around with a lot of money. So it's, if you make it easier for them, if you make it worth their while, they will pay. And you just gotta have the confidence to be like, yo, this is what the price point is because I'm this good. You reached out to me because of my talents, so you obviously have some worth to you. This is what I can do, and then this is what I can provide. If you provide this for me, then I'll meet you halfway by saying, like, we could break this up throughout the year. It don't gotta be, you don't gotta pay me everything up front, or pay me half up front and then the other half once you're satisfied with the record. That type of stuff just builds confidence. And also, kind of referring to what you were saying about my posts, I did some like ghost production. I guess that's what you would call it. I don't know if it's the official name for it, but it's similar to like a DJ Khaled situation where he's not the one producing the records, but he has the network.
Wait. You exposing Khaled for not producing records? Is he not actually producing? I thought that was his thing. Like
he does an overall production of the record. I would more compare him to like a movie producer. So like a movie producer has the connections with the talent and then the connections with the people to get the job done. They make sure everybody's there on time. They get everybody in the room together. They match up. They satisfies everybody's like requirements to get whatever done. That's kind of what he does. He's a DJ first and foremost. He does produce records in the sense of, I'm gonna get this guy to make the beat. I'm gonna have this engineer, and then I know Jay-Z and Beyonce, they coming over for dinner. I'm gonna see if I can sneak them into the studio. And then we could, like that. So yeah, that is still considered producing a record.
But he ain't on the boards.
He ain't on the boards. Like, I'm not saying he can't do that. He does have credits, but mostly it's like, I'm gonna bring all these elements together. Like the joint on his last album, with Eminem and Kanye West. That's actually produced by Dr. Dre.
Right.
It's on Khaled's album because he put all the elements together. He know Dre. He probably uses Dre connection to get M, and then the Kanye thing. However he does it, that's the talent, is being able to pull that off consistently. I don't know nobody that got Jay-Z and Beyonce on every album. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta be doing. It's a lot of work. I'm sure he like dragging people to the studio. Like,
right. So is that the essence of Ghost production? Like
yeah.
that.
So I would be the producer that he hired to make the beat.
Gotcha.
So it's a situation like that. And the plug I had, he's from Belize. Again, something that I met through doing the beats with Crook. You know, he just randomly reached out, and I saw he was about his business, so I'm like, you know what? Let's see what he's talking about. So, from Belize, he does a lot of records for like I said, he basically does the DJ Khaled thing. He finds producers that he finds that are dope. He got artists from Belize and like Jamaica, and he just combines the two, and then he goes under a different like alias that's not his official name, but it's like a persona. So
yep.
That was a situation. You know what I'm saying? Everything was good business. It's just I don't know if I didn't have the confidence in myself when I set the price, or if I didn't think about like the long term. I was just like, okay, quick bag, boom, and I'm done. Like I didn't really like look into the artist that he worked with or works with. So like I hear it's like 2 records that's out. One of them is kind of what I was expecting, how I expected him to perform, because it's not like a mainstream commercially record. It's kind of a violent record. It's from a whole different artist. But the main artist, I think she goes by Lene. She's from Belize, and the record came out so dope that I produced. But the part that hurts for me is the back. I'm like, I didn't have my back end right. I gave him a good upfront price to avoid the back end. If I knew the back end was gonna look like that, I probably would have made the upfront price a little higher. But you know, that's just something that happens. You know, that's just the trials and tribulations of things. I feel like now I would really think harder about the price set. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be afraid to give out a ridiculous price so that we can work our way down, because I'm obviously an asset to have if that record came out like that. You know what I mean? I think it's one of the I went to her YouTube page. I think that's her second highest video streaming. I think it's at like 5 million right now.
Wow.
Views.
We need to get you some we need to recoup some of that from them.
You know what I'm saying?
YouTube dollars.
I'm just listening to it and I'm like, I don't hear the other thing about it. I don't know if it's just I just don't think Ghost Productions for me. I need to hear my name on the record, bro. Like I gotta hear that My Brother Dizz made this. I need people to know who originally made it. I don't want my name hidden in some like BMI catalog. I want my junk right up front. You know what I mean? And I guess that's more of a just I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my edge type situation.
Of course.
So yeah.
So are you working on any current projects? I know we talked about I got to put this in for my brother Floyd. I asked you about the pre-rolls too. Yeah. When is that coming out? So aside from that, are there any other projects that you're working on with other people that you might be able to talk about, or anything that you're really looking forward to?
I'll say L is working on something. I can't get too much details on that, but he's definitely working on something. I think it's probably the dopest thing that I've been able to like help with apart as far as his music. LY is my brother, it's my rap partner. Boy, it's fire, man. I don't even know understand it. I feel like for this thing that he's working on, he kind of tapping into his own. First of all, he's tapping into some like it's real therapy for him with this project. It's a difference between like just him going in the booth and just spin some bars. Like it's coming from places, it's well thought out concepts. He hitting me up and giving me the ideas for the beats. Like he telling me like this how I want it to sound, this how I want it to come out. I want this to come in right here and then echo. Like he's like that. I'm like, okay, so he's really like putting his all to this. So he working on something that's gonna be dope. I'm still always working with Crook. We always looking for a bag. That's one thing about Crooked. He's a very thorough individual. My relationship with him is strong. So he's always like, yo, send me this. I'm gonna see if we can get on this. I'm gonna see if we can get on that. And I just appreciate that. And yeah, we still working on this. We're not working on pre-rolls too. We're about to start releasing that. Floyd had came to the pre-rolls. We had a listening party like all the way back in April. He like they love that they love the project. That's why he's like, yo, when you dropping this? Because I already heard it, but it's actually some other stuff we added to it and some tweaks we made. So, but it's done though for sure. We just trying to figure out the best way to roll it out. And other than that, I don't know. I just really got into my Twitch lately. Like I like games, I like beats, I like rapping, and Twitch is a platform. This ain't no sponsorship or nothing, but it's just a platform that I can use to do that and grow my own audience. You can just tune into the Dizz channel. Like it's just specifically for me. You're not looking for nobody else. So that's been cool. People be coming there and talk, and I've just been trying to build that up and be as entertaining as possible. And yeah, man, that's why my setup looked like this. If I didn't have a Twitch, trust me, it wouldn't look nothing like that.
For all the people listening to the audio, and if you haven't seen the video of this yet, his setup is immaculate. So I'm trying to understand how. Actually, I'm not gonna be selfish. I'm gonna just ask the question, my original question. How did you? Well, do you do your own visuals? Because not only with your setup, but I also noticed like videos that you put out back in the day, like when you were in college, nowadays, when you put stuff on your YouTube channel or on social, are you the one like that's recording and editing your own videos, or how have you figured that out?
It's actually all right. So in college, we were we kind of just hired people to do our visuals. Our main guy, our go-to guy, was Ro Shot Me. He goes by Miles High now. He moved to Cali, but he's a well-known artist. I'm sure you can find him somewhere because he's always his work or he might be putting a cartoon on the story or anything, but he goes by Miles High. He did all our visuals for a long time, and I used to just watch how he worked. It was like he comes in and he kind of always already has a vision for things. He already has his lighting set up. He just like, boom, stand here, and he'd just be randomly putting up some type of prop. And he's like, all right, stand here and then look this direction. And I'm like, that's kind of dope how you can do that. So watching him do that, I was like, you know what? Some years later, this thing happened called COVID. COVID happened. So now people are working from home. And because you're at home a lot, now you got to find things to do. So I'm like, I wonder how hard it is to like shoot a video, make videos. Let me go to YouTube University and see what that's like. So I just started going through a rabbit hole of watching YouTube videos and like lighting and direction and lenses and cameras and editing. And then I just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna shoot videos. So I just started. I got a camera as a gift for Christmas, thanks to my wife. Thank you, I love you, Ty. She got me that to get started. I started investing in lenses, and during that whole pandemic, when we was working from home, during my lunch breaks and during any breaks, I just go on YouTube University and just look up how to do something, and then I'll put that into practice, and then I'll get good at that. Then I'll learn to do something else, and I put it into practice. So the only reason I shoot videos is because we were stuck in the house. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try to learn this thing. So it's just kind of how I learned to shoot videos, literally just watching YouTube all day and just putting the time in to practice and practice editing and figuring out how I want my videos to look. So our first videos came from Ro. During this time that I'm learning the videos, I'm texting him because that's my guy. So I'm texting him. I'm like, yo, how did you do this? Or how would you do this if you had to do it? And then he'd tell me, he'd break it down to like, okay, you want to make sure your lighting is set here. You want to make sure, or you can use this program to edit this. And that's just how I learned, just kind of subconsciously taking in everything that he was doing when he was shooting our videos and kind of incorporating into how I shoot my videos.
I just want to say, man, if ain't nobody told you this yet, you a bad man if you can write, produce a record, and shoot your own music video. You don't need ain't no middleman. There's no such thing as a middleman.
Exactly.
At that point. I just thought this just came to mind. I gotta get your take on this as far as production goes, because I got some of my personal favorites, but with Detroit music and Detroit sound being the thing and being more mainstream and being hot right now, who would you say, if you had to do the top 5 producers from the D or from Michigan, who would you throw in there?
Okay, so first, I mean, we can go just what's popping right now. Hell of a got Detroit on the map. So heavy right now.
Yes, sir.
Everybody got a hell of a beat. And it's
listen,
like,
hell of a been at it since we was elementary, middle school.
Right. Absolutely. Like hell of a he I just seemed like he always got his finger on the pulse, and he set the sound of like, this is what Detroit music sounds like. This is it. And if you got a hell of a beat, it's gonna sound like a Detroit joint, regardless. So
and he knows how to perfectly flip those timeless classics.
Exactly. He makes sure his mixing is phenomenal. Like, and he's actually like a musician on the keys. Like a lot of the stuff ain't just samples. He's recreating a lot of those melodies too.
Oh my God.
And then I don't know, it just seemed like he always got his finger on the pulse. Like LY, my brother, he got a few hell of a joints. Like they met each other. They recorded in the studio together, like in person. So yeah, man, hell of a is to see him just being like the producer, the go-to producer in Detroit, to being like the go-to producer nationwide is dope.
Yeah.
So hell of a, I'm gonna just shout out to you, salute to you, man. We got the legend Dilla, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. I got some producer friends that I thoroughly enjoy. I'm gonna go with this is where it might get biased, but for me, Genius, Chris Wells, that whole Street Gang production, salute to y'all. They are fire. They actually just got a joint with Method Man. They're on Method Man's last album.
Nice.
So they fire. Salute to them. I'm gonna throw myself in there, not to be, that guy, but I'm that guy. No,
top five.
top five. You know what I'm saying? Who else gonna say it if I don't say it? I'm gonna just get the trend going. I'm in there. And then Royce the 5'9", actually, he's been making his last album. He produced all of that by himself.
Booker Ryan,
not Booker Ryan. Hold on, let me figure out the name of it. It's the last one the one that came right after Booker Ryan.
One after that, okay.
But yeah, he produced all of his records, and I actually got a chance to listen to that album in person before it came out. The Allegory. There it is. The Allegory.
Okay.
I got to listen to that album before it came out, and I had to reconfirm, like, you made all of these. Like, yep, like, man. I actually got a funny story on how I met him.
Let us know. Give us the exclusive. We love exclusives on Black Friday.
So like I said, during this time, this was 2019. So Crook just randomly texted me, "Hey, yo, I'm in Detroit. I'm up at Heaven Studio. You want to come up and meet Royce?" I'm like, "Yes, sir. I'm on my way." So I stopped everything I'm doing. I tell my wife, "Yo, I'm about to meet Royce." She's like, "All right, I got the kids. Go, get out the house." I'm like, "Bet." Get dressed. I head over there. And now I'm very nervous. I'm an awkward person in person. So I'm like, yo, first of all, I'm just showing up. I'm thinking I'm about to meet Crook outside, and then we walk in together. That's a whole different vibe. He was already there. So now I just gotta walk up to Heaven Studio or walk to the door and just introduce myself and hope that's good enough to get in this mug. You know what I'm saying? This is Royce's studio. He built by hand. So I'm sure he's very secure about his stuff. So I'm pulling up. I'm outside, just nervous. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Like, all right, let's just get it done. So, I walk up because Royce is my favorite rapper. Let's get this straight. He's one of the GOATs. He's my favorite rapper. So I've been a Royce fan since I was 19. So this is like, yo, I finally get to meet this man. So I rang the ring. He got a ring camera. I rang the bell, and nobody's coming. So I'm like, maybe I should just hit up Crook. So because prior to this, I just been hitting Crook up, but he's not picking up the phone, and I'm outside Heaven Studio. So I'm like, okay, nobody picking up, nobody responding to the text. I'm like, all right, this is about to be a fry. So I rang the bell, nobody came, and I just sat there, and I see a figure coming, like through the tinted glass of the door. He opened, and he like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" Came, shook my hand, opened the door all the way. I thought it was gonna be one of those situations where you just like crack it open, and you lick it, like peek out, like, "Yo, like, can I help you?" You know what I'm saying? So he like opened the door, like, how you doing, man? I'm like, hey, how you doing? Dapped me up, gave me a hug. It was like, you wanna drink something? You want an energy drink? I'm like, nah. And it was like, you with Al? I'm like, no, I'm with Crook. I'm a Dizz. She's like, oh, this is Royce, by the way, talking to me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm with Crook. He's like, okay, come through. We just back here listening to my album. So he got me a little Monster Energy drink, and he was just cool. We just had conversation, like, I actually been here before, because I know I do a lot of work with his brother, Kid Vicious. So like, I was here before for the cipher or whatever. Oh yeah, you been here before? That's what's up, man. Then we came back, and I see Crook. I see why he wasn't picking up the phone. He literally was sitting there, eyes closed, just listening to the music like this. Phone sitting like 5 feet away. And then I'm like, I had to like, hey, like, what up, bro? Like, what up? And yeah, man, we just spent that night, or that evening, listening to the Allegory before it even came out. And I just asked him some questions about it, and we took some pictures. We shot the video. So that picture and that video that I always post on my page, it came from that evening. So
phenomenal. I gotta ask you, man. Now that you keep stunting on us and dropping all these celebrity names, I need to know. I need to know, now that you tapped in, do you have any dream projects or dream people you would like to work with, produce with, have a feature on your stuff? Because on Black Fridays, we like to put in the universe, man, and see it come back. So wanted to see who you look forward to working with in the future.
There's a few people. It's about to be a wide range of artists. So I'm gonna start locally. So not locally, but we're gonna start from the city. 2 people I want to work with. One, Courtney Bell. Courtney Bell is fire. We actually already got a song together called like Buffy's and Red Wings. That was from like a different time. That was like years back. He actually recorded that in my apartment at the time. So I want to see, now that we've both had our growth, we both, experienced life. We got whole new like mindsets and things. I want to see what a new Dizz and Courtney Bell project sound, because at that time he was going by the Kid LC. So I want to see what the new. I'm sure I got something for him that really that I don't know, man. I just know the chemistry right there was phenomenal. The chemistry was so good when we recorded that Red Wings and Buffs. I know right now with our growth, it's gonna be crazy. Right. So Courtney Bell, Courtney, we're gonna work on something. Sada Baby, because listen, I love Sada Baby as much as I like bars and blah blah blah. Sada be spitting, and Sada just got energy, and I became a Sada Baby fan like 2 years ago, a year ago. I used to be real like, I ain't listening to none of that. Ain't real hip hop. No, boy is fire. Boy is cold. He's a good time. You know what I'm saying? I want to do something for him. Definitely. And from what I'm hearing, he's real thorough about, he's real thorough, real cool. So I wanted to get that done. And then here's some dream joints. I always wanted to do something for Schoolboy Q. I want to do something for Currency. I want to do something for Schoolboy Q, Currency. I want to do something with Westside Boogie. Who else that I'm really listening to? I think I can do something good for Benny the Butcher too. Those are the ones I'd say I'm actively working on, or anytime I make a beat, it's with them in mind. So yeah, Currency, Benny the Butcher, Sada Baby, Courtney Bell, Westside Boogie, Schoolboy Q. Yeah.
That's a solid lineup, man. So now that we got that in the queue, if these people want to reach out to you, so let's say this come across Sada Baby page, how can they get in contact with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Give us your handles, websites, all that good stuff.
My Brother Dizz on everything, on absolutely everything. I made it a point to not have 4 different usernames, because that's what I used to be rolling with. My Brother Dizz on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, anything. You need my Gmail, mybrotherdiz@gmail.com. Everything is my name is in it, and it's a very unique name that they didn't put those 3 words together. Luckily, hopefully, in the future, I don't have to buy any websites that just randomly say My Brother Dizz. Just because somebody
buy up all the domains.
Yeah. Yeah. So You know, that's My Brother Dizz on everything.
Dope. Well, Dizz, man, this was super dope, man. Very proud of you and everything you accomplished and the growth. It's really, I knew you was talented back in high school, and it's great to see that you stuck with it, because to see your growth, man, it's starting to pay off, and definitely only beginning. I know you probably feel like you're only scratching the surface and got so much more to do, man. Just keep giving us that fire and drop that pre-rolls too, so you can get people off your back, man.
Definitely. I'm sorry, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's gonna be well worth it. Floyd knows well worth it. That's why he like, yo, just drop it,
man. Right. So I look forward to hearing that, man. I look forward to seeing everything that you got cooking up and coming up in the near future, man. And really appreciate you pulling up to Black Fridays today.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. It's a great time, man. Dope podcast, by the way. I did check out earlier episodes. Forgot to tell you that earlier.
Thank you, man. That's high praise coming from you, man. You at the top. You at the top of the mountain. So I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. But everybody listening, we'll tap in with y'all later on and talk to y'all soon.
Deuces, thanks.
Niggas skip the ball, cause we mad at y'all. Snatch the 89 that we pack the drawers, and we clap the doors of your acting roll.